Yeah, shout out to everybody that's thinking about joining the military, man. Listen, this video is probably the most important video you're gonna watch before joining the National Guard, okay? This is how you can make the National Guard a full-time job. A lot of y'all think the National Guard is just gonna fix all your problems. And I'm about to give you the real, okay? Listen, we gonna cut straight to the chase. We ain't gonna waste too much time in this video. Give me a second. That's my daughter. All right, I'm gonna get to her later. But listen, a lot of y'all believe the National Guard is just gonna fix your problems, fix your life, and you're just gonna be good. And I'm here to tell you that National Guard is a part-time job. It feels like a part-time job. It can become full-time. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you how to make it a full-time job. Stay tuned. But listen, when you first get into the National Guard, when you first enlist to the Army, you're going to go to basic training. You're going to go to AIT. Listen, basic training is literally built to break you down and to build you into a soldier. All right. AIT is built for you to now learn your job, what you're actually going to be doing in the military. The military is not what you experience in basic training. That is to give you a taste of what it is to be a soldier. But when you get to your duty station, you're not going to be doing the stuff you did in basic training, most likely. It's going to be very rare that you ever low crawl again, unless you have to go overseas or you're doing some type of training. But you're not, the Army is not just low crawling and people yelling at you and you're doing push-ups. That's not really how it is. It's just a regular 9 to 5. But there's levels. Now, I mean, you have to respect the person that's a level above you. Now, I mean, for me, I'm a sergeant. Now, I mean, so somebody that's a specialist, they have to respect me. I have to respect staff sergeant. Staff sergeant has to respect a sergeant first class. There's levels to it. Now, I mean, you have to understand the levels of being in the military, right? So, again, that's what basic training is going to teach you. AIT is going to be more of your job. It's going to be more of just like, for me, I'm a supply sergeant. And they just taught me everything I need to know on the supply side of when I get to my actual duty station. So, when you get to your actual duty station as a National Guard soldier, you will be reporting 1 weekend out of the month. Now think about it. That's just 2 days. 1 weekend out of the month, 2 weeks out of the year, which is AT, which is your annual training. The 1 weekend out of the month, your check that you're getting every month is going to be from that 1 weekend out of the month. All right. So think about it. When I first got in, I was, I want to say I was an E3 or something like that, private first class. And my 1 weekend a month check, that check was about $250. That's the only check I was getting for the whole month. So no. At first, it is not something you can live off of. It is a great part-time job. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys how I made it into a full-time job. Now, so yeah, the 1 weekend a month is not gonna suffice. Not with this inflation we got in this economy. Now, what I will say is, back then, it was very easy for me to now get jobs. What I used to do is I used to walk into interviews with my uniform on. I walk into interviews with my uniform on, and I'll probably tell them I just came from the base or something like that. And it just comes off like, okay, he's wearing his resume. You know, now, would I tell you guys to do that? No. A lot of times I was coming from my base and I would walk into an interview and I didn't really have time to change. So, I mean, it worked out for me. But what I will say, even the interviews, if I didn't have my uniform on, the fact that they seen I was in the military, they automatically like saw me as somebody that has some type of structure, some type of, you know, like integrity about myself. The fact that I was able to make it through that type of rigorous training, they kind of already had a pre-notion about me, like, okay, this guy's not like our other applicants. So it was very easy for me to get jobs. Now, I was working jobs. It was cool. But now it got to the point where it was like, damn, I need something more. Now, that's what I'm about to tell you guys right now. If you want to make the National Guard into a full-time position, you need to do two things. First thing, you need to be letting the people at your unit know, I'm looking for a full-time position. Because watch, when you get to your unit, you're going to see people sitting at desks, and you can ask them like, hey, do you work here throughout the week? There's people that work at your unit throughout the week. Ask those people, hey, how long have you been doing this? You know, like, is there anything available? Kind of let everybody know, put everybody on watch that you are looking for orders. They have border patrol orders where you could go to the border patrol and you could stay in a hotel and you could, do what you do out there. They have orders within your own state. They have orders in your own unit. For me, I kind of told everybody I was looking for a full-time position or whatever. And, if anything comes about, then put me on orders. What orders is basically saying like, okay, we need you in this place to do X, Y, and Z for this time span. Now, what you want to do is you want to get in the door. It's just like any other job, and then try to network your way into being on orders for a whole year, which is what I've been doing. I've been doing that for the last few years. So, I know a lot of people or whatever. So I've been able to stay on orders for a year at a time. I've been on orders since 2019. It's a huge blessing. I'm very appreciative. The job pays good. You make money as if you had a degree, like if you ask me. And that's with being a lower rank. That's with being a lower rank. So it's pretty dope. You can look it up online or whatever. The military pay is all public knowledge. You can go on Army, you could type in Army pay calculator on Google and it'll pop it up. You could put in the rank, the time in service, and all that, and it'll give you the BAH. It'll tell you everything. So anyways, so yes, you want to talk to somebody at your unit and let them know like, look, I'm interested on being on orders. At that time, most likely there's not going to be anything available for you. But what you just did was letting them know when orders are available, there's funds that's available, they need to put some people on orders. They will now think of, wait a minute, Johnson, he kept on calling me about orders. Every time I see this kid, he always talks to me about how he needs orders or how he's interested in being on orders. Because a lot of people don't want to be on orders. So when it's time to create a list of people they want to put on orders to work full-time, they got to think, okay, well, this person's not reliable. This person on drill, they be BSing. See, a lot of times people come to drill, they bullshit, and they don't really they're like, oh, this is just drill, like 1 week out of a month. All right, let me come here and get it done. But you don't realize when full-time positions start to open up, they consider how you are at drill. They consider all that stuff. So again, you once you get on orders, let's just say they put you on orders for 2 months, like people that was on orders for COVID, working at hospitals and stuff, you want to really show and approve. I said approve, is that the word? I can't think of the word right now. But anyways, yeah, you want people to see your work ethic. Use this time as a tryout time. So therefore they will see you and they're like, okay, we want him to stay. I like how he takes initiative. One of the biggest things about people in the military is we don't like to follow behind somebody else to do their job. Because most likely my job already has a lot of stuff I have to do. So for me to have to hire you and I need help and I'm going to have to follow behind you, it's kind of like, okay, like me having you is just an extra job for me. So you want to be somebody that constantly shows initiative. Honestly, this works in all jobs. You want to be somebody that constantly shows initiative. You come to work. You're not trying to find ways to not come to work. Yeah, you can always find a way to get out of work. But when it comes time to promote somebody, when it comes time to keep somebody on orders for longer periods of time or put somebody in a higher place for better visibility, everybody considers these things. Like, does this person come to work? Just because you can make a doctor's note for every time you don't feel like going to work does not mean you should. Because people consider, are you even available? So anyways, all right. So that's called ADOS. That's what I'm on. I've been on ADOS for the last 4 years. The downfall of ADOS is that your ADOS orders can end. It's usually from one fiscal year to the next fiscal year. For example, the fiscal year starts October 1st and ends September 30th of the next year. That's how my orders usually is usually worded. And then, so now what happens is at the end of the fiscal year, you're kind of hoping that they keep you on for the next fiscal year. The issue is a lot of time with budgeting being funny, it's kind of hard to sometimes to know whether or not they'll keep you for the next FY fiscal year. But now what I've learned is the best way to be kept on orders for the next fiscal year is be a necessity. Don't be an extra. Don't just be a help. You come in the door by being a help, but then you find your way of being a necessity that helps the unit. And I mean, you want to help the job. You want to be somebody that, okay, I'm a liaison for security. I'm a liaison for supply. I'm a liaison for, there's so many things for S4, S3, S6. Don't just let this time just go by. You want to be known for doing something. So when it comes time for them to let people go, they're like, oh no, we can't let go of Johnson because Johnson's in charge of all of our S6 equipment, which is our computer equipment. He's really good at it. Now, I mean, this is how the conversations go. No, we need to keep him. Or let's move him over here where I know that they need somebody that can do that. That's how you stay on order. That's how I've stayed on order. I've proven myself. So now you have the last thing. The last thing, this will make you more of a permanent. This is how you make the National Guard a career, in my opinion. This is how you sign up for the National Guard in your state and you get active duty treatment without the temporary, at the end of the fiscal year, it might end type stuff. It is called AGR. All right. A lot of people don't know about this coming into the military. And I wish more people would have told me about it, like when I joined the military, because it would have made me join faster. But AGR is Active Guard Reserve. I think it's Active Guard Reserve. I don't know AGR. I don't remember what it stands for on top of my head. But what AGR is basically the same thing I just said. You're basically active duty now. You're active duty, but you're in the National Guard. So why is that so dope? Because when you sign up for an actual active duty contract, you get sent to, I would sign up in Georgia. They could send me to Nebraska. When you sign up for an active AGR contract, they can only send you in the state that you signed to as the National Guard. So they can't send you, if you get, if you sign an AGR here, they can't send you to Nebraska because it's like, I'm part of the National Guard in Georgia. Now they can send me in different parts of Georgia, like to work. It all depends. But with AGR, it's a little bit more of a definite. There is no, at the end of the fiscal year, you're hoping that, you have a job. Another thing about the AGR program is you apply for the AGR program. So it's not like you just wind up in something. No, as somebody that's in the National Guard, you could go on this website. It's called Georgia HRO. And you can see the jobs that are listed. Well, that's for us. Georgia HRO is for Georgia. Just go to whatever your state is, HRO. So you can see the jobs that are listed. You want to really look at these jobs that are really popular, like supply is very popular, and become a specialist in these jobs, become very good. So when it comes time that you're E5, you're E4, you're E6, and there's a job available, you can easily just go apply for it. And then you can stand in front of a board. A board is, you stand in, it's usually about three, it's officer, NCO, and maybe another NCO, whatever. You just stand in front of three people of higher ranking if you don't